Hey fam, it's Agrabottle on the block with the world's first ever gangstalicious, ultra masculine, ultra cool, classical violin tutorial speed run. All the girls will want you once you've mastered my simple violin series, if they're not too busy at their houses practicing violin as well. Oh ho ho! Let's start with the basics. Do you have 2 arms? Yes, no. If yes, perfect. If no, what are you doing here? Go to a hospital. Do you have a violin? Yes, no. If yes, perfect. No, go ask your parents to buy you one. And if your parents can't buy you one, get out. I don't want broke people on my channel. Kidding. But you kind of do need a violin to learn violin, just throwing that out there. Now, the basics. With your 2 arms and your 10 fingers, you must now learn to completely relax them. That is the basics. You must learn to stand here like you're drunk. You must find your support from your core and from your back. You may place your palms here if you wish. Oh, also let me flex my absolute wasp waist here. Anyway, so you must straighten, you must support, and you must let your arms do whatever. For example, you can check if you've managed this by doing the windmill. I am turning from my hips, and my arms are doing whatever the hell they want. That means that my shoulders are relaxed. Now, second step. Raise your arms as if you are Jesus Christ. Yeah. Can you raise your arms? Yeah. Hold them. Have you noticed that your shoulder naturally does not raise while you are raising your arms? Perfect, that's exactly what we need. You must learn to isolate your muscles so that you do not overstrain and so that you get a good sound when you actually touch the instrument. Step 3, let's try to isolate these back muscles here. I would call them triceps if I didn't have the most... I don't think spaghetti even counts as this. So, lean a bit forward at about this angle, raise your arms like this, yeah? You're using only these muscles. And let's see, sway back and forth. Your elbows should naturally do whatever they want. I'm only holding this top part of my arm here. The elbows are doing whatever. That's what you want. Because when you finally raise them, they'll basically be doing whatever. With the shifts, they'll basically be doing whatever. You can do the Macarena to practice this as well, because that is actually an ironically very good rotational exercise. This is also a very important movement. This is actually quite an important movement as well, because you need to, again, you must remain relaxed while remaining taut, like, what's a good example? What's a good example? Elastic band. Elastic band. If you pick up an elastic band, you dangle it a little, it's gonna wibble wobble. But if you pull that back and you snap it, it's gonna be really springy. That's what you need. You need to be an elastic band to be springy but completely relaxed. Remember that. That's lesson 1. Lesson 2, in the background of which there will probably be a cello, the violin's cousin on steroids. This is what a violin typically looks like. It has 4 pegs. Sometimes has 4 fine tuners, though that's fine if yours doesn't have any, just makes it a little bit more complicated to tune. Hopefully it comes stringed already, because I actually don't know how to string violins and I will not de-string this just to show you. So, the violin has to come with 2 very important accessories, especially for beginners. The chin rest and the shoulder rest. These do exactly what they sound like. You put your chin on the chin rest and you put the shoulder rest on your shoulder in order to support the violin when you're doing all these crazy things with your arms. This shoulder rest that I'm using is a Wolf Forte Prima. The good thing about this Wolf is that it's a very thick shape. The actual foam is quite thick as well, and it can bend to accommodate unique shoulder shapes, which is good. So, in general, a shoulder rest has to have 2 legs of differing lengths. The short one goes on your shoulder. The long one must be in front, like that. In order to put it on your violin, the short leg will always be on the side of the chin rest, which is always on the right. You hold it like you're strangling a snake, and then you put it like that in the middle of the curve. Then you stretch the second one to sit vaguely in the middle of the opposite curve. This must sit quite snugly so that it does not fall off. Typically, you will have to kind of stretch the shoulder rest a little bit to make it fit on that side. That's fine. If you have to move it up a little and you kind of feel resistance, that's good. That's good. So, putting this on your shoulder, it must typically be so that this is somewhat, it's a little below your collarbone, right? That's the optimal position. This spot must be a little bit below your collarbone, and so the violin by default is also a little bit below your collarbone. This little funky thing, this little button, has to be somewhat in the position of your Adam's apple. You can see that. It's pointing to my Adam's apple, right? And then if you look at the back, that is where the second leg of the shoulder rest needs to be. It's not really sticking out past my shoulder too much. It's certainly not down my shoulder too much. It sits like this, as if you're proclaiming your love for a country. It sits like that. And that's how. Also, very important note, it does not matter whether you are right or left-handed. The violin is always on the left shoulder. It is not like the guitar where you can restring and play opposite. That is not true. There are maybe 2 people who play left-handed violins. They are not classical musicians. That is not the norm. The violin always rests on the left shoulder. The bow is always in the right. Keep that in mind. Now move to what is arguably the most important part of beginner violinism. The posture with the instrument. I have scandalously exposed some of my neck and my brunette locks in order to make this hopefully a bit easier to see. So, gripping the violin. This can be done either like this or like this, a flat grasp like that. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever your hand strength is. You can use your other hand to guide it. I'll demonstrate it like this because this is probably the most popular beginner posture. You grab it like this, you get used to the weight. You have to be able to turn it like this. You have to be able to turn it. Once it's up here, you can use your hand to guide it. From this posture, this sort of angle of the arm, you guide it onto your shoulder. Place it. Just check how it feels. Reminder that this needs to be a little bit below your collarbone. This must be touching your neck. There is no gap. Sometimes you will see people with a gap. It depends on the width of the shoulder. For now, we will say that there has to be no gap. So you put it so that there's no gap. This thing is slightly below the collarbone, and at the back, you see, it doesn't stick out past my shoulder. You can adjust your shoulder rest this way, that way, this way, that way. These wolf shoulder rests can also tilt, so that's good. Adjust it until you can put it on your shoulder with the parameters that we put in mind, and the additional one that it is parallel to your arm when you put it out like that. When you're standing, for example, and raise it, look, my hand is pointing to the camera, my violin is almost pointing to the camera as well. It isn't there, it isn't there, it isn't there, it is not there. It's right there, like this, come closer, like this, and you can hold it like that. That is there. And now you practice. Put it down, put it up, twist, guide, lift your head, bam. Make sure that you are not raising your shoulder when you are doing this. If you have to raise your shoulder so that your chin meets the violin, that means that your shoulder rest is not high enough, in which case you need to adjust with these screws that most rests have. Again, with me. Down, assemble your chakra, twist, pick, guide, lower your head. And now very carefully, test, you can hold it with this hand, lower your left hand. Does it hold? Does it feel stable? Slowly, with the weight of your head, hold the violin in place. Do not lift your shoulder. Keep your shoulder down, put your head down with its weight, and slowly remove your right arm. Congratulations. Does that feel comfortable? If it doesn't, adjust until it does. Basically, look, let me do a spin around. Let me do a spin around. Yeah, look at that. It's completely comfortable. Now, I'm not a very good example because mine is a bit wobbly, but that's my personal humor. It shouldn't be very wobbly. So you can do whatever. You can do whatever. You must be able to hold your violin enough to do all sorts of crazy stuff with your arms. You must be able to do aerobics, those like 90s dance tutorials with your violin on your shoulder. One last time together. Assemble your chakra, straighten your shoulders, feet planted to the ground. They must be like shoulder width apart. Feet planted, grasp your violin like it owes you money. Twist, pick, this angle, guide. Put your head down, relax, wibble wobble, relax, wibble wobble. Congratulations! You can now hold a violin. We now move on to the more difficult aspect of holding the violin, the bow. My liege, your mighty sword. We must learn how to handle this beast. Because on the violin, it rests on a very big part of you, your entire body, right? But the bow rests on a very, very small part of you, just the fingers, and actually on the bottom, just the thumb. And you have to learn how to wield it without tensing your knuckles, without tensing this underside of the thumb, without tensing your arm, absolutely not. Now, there are some challenges that come with this. For younger and people of a more feminine build, the issue might be with strength. You might find that when you're learning how to hold the bow, it's kind of flopping everywhere, you can't stabilize it. That's fine, it will come with time. Just practice, as I will show you in a minute. For people who are older or are of a more masculine build, your problems will not be with strength because you will easily hold it. Your problems will be with flexibility. You will also have to practice it, like I'll show you in a minute. You both suck. Learn until you don't suck. So, holding it, about in the middle, I'd say, about in the middle of the bow, hold it like this with your thumb underneath, just grip it firmly, not touching the bow hair though as much as possible because it will ruin the bow hair. Hold it firmly until you're confident that it will not go anywhere. Then, raising your right arm, pretend that it is a paw. You are a mighty lion, roar, or whatever lions say. You do not have fingers at the moment. This is a mitten, this is a paw. And calculate the trajectory, and you have to slap it down. Bam! You have to slap it down on the bow. Mind you, this is without any force at all. This is just a natural weight of my arm. Don't be afraid of the recoil, let it recoil. As long as you're holding it firmly with your arm, you will not break the bow, I promise. Put your full weight on it. Remember, up. I solemnly swear, Your Honor, I solemnly swear. And then you relax it, it's a mitten, and then you drop it. There we go. Do you see? Ideally the fingers should land somewhere like on the second phalange, second knuckle-ish. If you've dropped it like this, that's a bit too deep. Try again until you can manage to drop it like that, okay? So this is too deep. I overshot it. This is good. See? Hand-eye coordination. So, once you've got this position, look what we're gonna do. It pains me to say this, but we're gonna become British. We're gonna stick our little pinky up, like we're British, sipping tea. We're gonna stick it up, and we're gonna bum, bum, onto the bow, as if it's on a high heel. Very dainty, very demure. Bum, British, bum, high heel. Do you see that? Right on its tippy toe. Look at that, we align like plebeians, like common rabble, then we become aristocrats, splendid, and then we put it on the stick. There we go, the very tip. Perfect. Can you do the cha-cha, the mambo? There. And you've placed it. Note, the rest of the fingers are quite deep. This is a bit too deep for the second finger, this is a bit too deep for the first finger. The third is actually quite fine. So look what we're gonna do. Watch carefully. Hop. Magic. Did you see what I did? So look, they're a bit too deep. Slip it back. So that the first and second finger are sort of, they're resting on this knuckle slash this middle phalange here. They should be a bit more shallow than this finger. Traditionally, this finger is said to have to always cover the little like spot that most bows have. If you have short fingers, that will not be the case, but just make sure that it's deep enough to then control the bow later. Let's do it one last time. Paw, I solemnly swear, smack it down. Perfect. We become aristocrats. Splendid. Tippy-tap. Perfect. Then we do the little turn. Hop. This is all done horizontally, by the way. I'm just showing you how it's done. So like, smack it down, tippy-top, slide back like that. That's what it looks from a different angle. And there. Now we only have the thumb left. Do you remember how to wiggle the thumb? I'm aware it's a really strange position, but try to wiggle the thumb a couple of times without tensing the rest of your hand. Now look, it's nowhere near the bow, right? For now, slowly, without tensing your arm, I cannot stress this enough, raise your wrist. Do you see that? It was flat, it was gooey, it was terrible. Raise your wrist like an arc of a mighty cathedral, right? And then, look, your thumb is suddenly much closer than it was before, right? You can now tilt the stick a little bit toward your thumb, cheat a little bit. There it is. Again, horrible, plebeian, what is it? Basically unrefined wrist. And now the Chad raised wrist. And now we slightly just angle it so that the thumb can meet it. Now from the underside, the thumb rests in this little nook between the leather and the little corner that the frog has. It rests right there in the middle. It's slightly tilted. Also, for violin, your nails need to be quite short. Mine is quite long because I also play guitar, but it has to be like round. It can touch this hair. It's fine. A lot of violinists' hair here is like completely black because of the grease. That's fine, because your thumb is going to be resting like this a lot. That's fine. One last time. Let's do this. Hold it horizontally. Beep, 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 beep. Yo, they're really good. Do you want to be like them? Do my course. Raise it. Paw, pop. Perfect. Aristocrats, up, dainty. Pull it back a little bit. Perfect. So now it's resting on the middle of the phalange. Perfect. Right. And then raise the wrist. Put the thumb. Check that the angle is correct on the thumb. Perfect. Do you see how round that space is? It's not like that. It's not like that. It's a nice little round shape as if we're holding. Let me introduce, drum roll, Timothy. Timothy is the skull of the last student who didn't follow my course and tried to learn violin any other way. Just kidding. Real teachers are very, very important. Go find yourself a good teacher. So, it's like holding Timothy. Do you see how round Timothy is? He had a big braid before he became dead. Not big enough, clearly, but round head. Do you see this round shape, right? So we're gonna hold our bow and pretend that Timothy is still in our hands because we miss him and we love him very much. So when we grab our bow like we did, we have to make sure that there's plenty of space inside, just in case Timothy decides to return. We can only hope. But for now, we hold space for him in our hands. And now, one last thing, I promise before I let you go out of my violin basement, because yes, that is where we are. You will never leave. So, I want to go to bed too, I'm tired as hell. So, look, we need to develop mobility. We need to develop mobility in the fingers. Remember what I said about men being stronger but stiffer and women tending to be weaker but more flexible? We need to even that out. We need to even that out. You need to be both strong and flexible. You need to be like, oh man, let's go back to the rubber band. You need to be strong but flexible. So there are a couple exercises that can help you achieve your perfect squid hands, cuttlefish hands that you need for the instrument. Just like Davy Jones, but a little bit with a smidge less aura, right? Nothing will ever top the organ. Nothing will ever top the organ. So remember what we did with the bow. Grasp it firmly. Paw to the ceiling, smack it down. Aristocrat, dainty, slip it back, adjust. Raise wrist, put thumb. Perfect. You're probably gonna do this a bit quicker now. Look. Oh, my bad, I let it go. I'm too good for you, I'm too quick. Look, so you're gonna hold it, and as you can see, once you slowly start releasing it, suddenly this muscle of the pinky is gonna be working so much harder to just keep it up. Because if you try to grip the bow here, oh, it's so easy. Oh, it's so easy, it's so lovely, but unfortunately we can't play it like this. We play it like this, where the whole length of the bow is weighing you down and telling you horrific things like you'll never be good, you'll never be able to play, you mustn't listen, the bow is a mean thing, you must not listen, you will be a star one day. So, once you're holding the bow, just test, just start pressing on the stick. Just start pressing, start testing the ground. Have you seen those videos of like where the bird is like standing there and it's like wobbling back and forth? What it actually is doing is that it's pressing with its feet to trick the worms in the ground to think that there's rain. And when the worms feel that there's rain, they come up because they don't want to suffocate and drown in their burrows. So the bird is simulating rain by gently pressing on the ground. It's pressing on the ground with its feet by rocking back and forth. But get this. The ground does not move because the bird is pressing on it. So for this first exercise, your left hand is holding the bow steady, your right hand is on the bow, and just test pressing on the bow with your little finger, like the bird presses on the ground with its foot, without really moving the bow much. I think you can see the flex of my tendon there. Yeah, you can see it. So like this little muscle tenses when you practice this. It's just a sort of low risk way to practice feeling that muscle and just feeling your own strength and practicing it without any risk of the bow like falling or whatever. That's exercise 1. Exercise 2 is when you hold the bow aloft. This will be so much easier. Like you've put it down like this, and you just hold it. Oh, wow. All the weight is gone. This will be your favorite exercise until you realize what we have to do. So what we have to do is that we have to climb to the end of the bow. Yeah, I hated this too. Anyway, so like, it's really fun though. Like, look, you start it by shifting your thumb up, right? And then you slowly slip your fingers up. And then you shift your thumb up again, and then you slip them up, and you slowly crawl. You slowly crawl like you're a ninja warrior, Britain's Got Talent, and you crawl to the end of the bow. I recommend doing this on carpet because you will probably drop it the first couple times, but that's okay. So once you're at the tip of the bow, just marvel at your accomplishment for a moment. That is a really big length that you just crawled and you won the fight against gravity. That is very, very good. So look, you're at the end of the bow, and once you've practiced that a couple times, look how quick you can do it once you've... Yeah, look at that, look at that, look at that. Look at that, look at you go. Look at me go, but this will be you soon. So, once you're at the end of the bow, you can practice doing that in the opposite way. So this time, instead of the thumb, the little finger starts it. Pull it along, pull it along, pull it along, pull it along. Look at that sneaky hand. Look at that sneaky hand. Look at it go. Look at it go. Look at it go. Oh, yeah. Look at it. Look at it. Oh, okay. I'm going to stop commentating because it's actually a really long way. I haven't actually practiced this in a while. I need to get back into it. And look, you're back here. Wow. So I think if you have never done this before, I think you'll start to feel tension here. You might start to feel a little tense here. You might start to feel a little tired in your thumb because it's supporting the entire other side of the bow on its own. That's fine. Take a break of like several seconds. Treat it as a gym set, right? You pump iron for like whatever, like 20 times, and then you rest for 45 seconds. Or you can do this for 2 minutes straight and then you relax for 5. That's also a good set. The longer you do this, the more exponentially longer you will have to take a break, because muscles, when they're not used to something, they panic and tense more than they strictly need to tense. So the more you do this exercise, the more you need to take a break. That's exercise 2. Exercise 3 is the harder version of exercise 1. Remember how we were bobbing like the bird on the floor? Well, this time, your training wheels are gonna go. But in order for you not to panic and scream and click off this video like a little baby, we're gonna hold it a little higher when it's a bit easier to hold. There's a bit less weight. There's a bit less length, so there's a bit less weight. The weight is a bit more balanced. And we're gonna relax our left hand and we're just gonna hold it. We're just gonna practice holding it in our hand like this. Look, make sure that your thumb is still round. Your thumb is round. Your thumb is round. It supports it in an arc. I promise that it's easier to support it like that than if you do this. This will tense your hand so badly in the long run. Make sure that it's an arc. Arcs are very strong shapes, as is proven by all the bridges, all the like Roman cathedrals, the Colosseums. All of them have arcs because arcs are crazy strong. So once you're holding it like that, slowly dare to press with your little finger again. But since we have no hand holding it this time, your bow will tilt. Look at that. So I'm pressing it, and then when I relax it, it tilts the other way. Look at that. You see? So my second finger, as you can see, is sort of acting like an anchor here. Well, my thumb is the primary anchor, but from the front, the second finger doesn't really move much. The most moving parts are the little finger and the first. This one and this one, because they're working in tandem to swing the bow back and forth, back and forth. 4, 1, 4, 1, like that. And then it's like those little silly, you remember when you were in school, hopefully, you were trying to trick your friends into thinking that the pencil was wobbly. Haven't done the trick in a while, but like, you do it like like something, and you try to make it look like the pencil is wobbly, right? So you'd basically do the same thing with the bow here, but it's just a bit longer pencil, and you just do it. Yeah, look at that, look at that. Make sure that your shoulder is relaxed here. It's very, what is it, tempting to strain it. Don't strain it. Make sure that the shoulder is relaxed. Do that, and then slowly, once you become strong enough, shift until you're down here. There we go. It's a bit more difficult. Even I get tired. This muscle is working like crazy. I think you can see like it literally bulges. It's a bit. It's quite tense when you're doing this, but this will come very, very handy when you're doing chords, when you're doing accents, when you're doing all these crazy things. So you have to train your fingers to be mobile and strong, and relaxed. So if there's 3 things that you take away from this initial video, is that you have to be relaxed, you have to be strong, and you have to be flexible. So basically, you need to be Sporticus. You need to be Sporticus from Lazy Town. You need to be relaxed, you need to be strong, and you need to be flexible. You also need to be confident, but that's a whole different thing. So, yes, I will finally let you go now. Practice this. For beginners, I don't even know. I don't remember how much I practiced when I was beginning. Maybe like half an hour a day, maybe like, yeah, half an hour, like 15-minute break and 15-minute, you know, half an hour a day. This will be good. You'll be great, hopefully. I can't. Have faith in yourself, you know? Have a good night, my fella. Have a good night, my favorite student. And what is it? On guard.